What were your original charges? And we're running out of time, Mike.
I was charged with 2 counts of possession of a weapon. I was in Arkansas on my way to get materials for a friend's barn as part of my ministry, and they called me to come back to the farm knowing that my wife keeps her guns locked up in her safe, to which she's the only one with a key in combination. 3917, 1307, unlawful possession of a weapon. It says exception. If the guns are locked up where you don't have a key or combination, you're not in possession.
Gotcha.
I was nowhere near the farm, let alone in the house.
Fortunately, to explain why this is a lie, we have to go to actual court transcripts. Anyways, this is a transcript of one of the preliminary hearings on Mike's gun case. Third gun case, whatever. February 2016. This is the case he's talking about. And this is from Mike's website, and it has notes by what appears to be his wife. Even if you want to argue that the cop is lying and the government's lying, Mike's wife is confirming the information on this transcript. Anyways, this is the testimony of Mike's parole officer, Ed Johnson. Key point here. Mike at the time of the gun being found is on parole, and that's going to be important for a number of reasons. Alright, so Mike is on parole for the aggravated assault convictions, which was the Wolf case. Actually, this case is actually pretty interesting. I wish we had the courtroom audio. Anyways, okay. Mike's parole officer is contacted by the sheriff's department saying that there had been a complaint from PETA, which is People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. Mike at the time had 70 wolf dogs. Frater and other people suspect that Mike was running a puppy mill. 70 dogs sort of makes sense, and it sort of definitely points in that direction. I've looked up how much a wolf dog puppy goes for. It's between $500 and $1,000. So Mike's 70 dogs there is basically between $35,000 and $70,000 worth of dogs. So that would basically be their main source of income. Anyways, his parole officer decides to do a home visit while they check on the animals. As part of parole, they can check your house. That's one of the rules. And they say it, and he cites the actual Rule 8 of the parole states that any parolee in the state of Tennessee agrees to a search of their home by any probation parole officer at any time without probable cause. And that visits are a normal function, so they don't need a search warrant or anything. Anyways, lie number one: Mike claims that he wasn't at the farm. Here we see that is not true. Quote: I had called Mr. Parsons to let him know I was coming to do a home visit. Mike drove to the house. The short period, blah blah. On that day, he did drive down to the gate in an automobile. I got out. I actually had a copy of his parole certificate in my hand with the rules in my hand. He was curious about who else was in the vehicle. Blah, blah, blah. He denied us access. Mike did not. This is red flag number one. Mike doesn't let the cops search the house, even though they're allowed to search the house as part of his parole. Mike says that he did not have the key or any way to open the gate to us. Anyways, this goes on for probably 10 or 15 minutes, telling him he needs to open the gate. Mike says that he's going to be leaving. Cop says that he has to open the gates. Eventually, this is how desperate Mike is to keep the police out of the house. And Mike's behavior here is very telling, because he knows that the guns are in the house. If the cops get in, he's screwed. So this is how desperate Mike becomes. Mike throws his car keys off to the side and ran towards the road, basically. And then the cop tells him to stop and not go there. Then one of the cops grabs the car keys, searches his car, and they found a remote to unlock the gate. So, scrolling back real quick. Mike said that he did not have the key or any way to open the gate to us. In reality, the key, the thing, the remote to open the gate, it looks like it's a motorized gate, was actually in his car. So he lied to the cops there. The vet checks on the animals. That's fine. That's not important here. Anyways, they talk to his wife. She lets them into the house. Mike, this is Mike's little lie here. Mr. Parsons was not in the residence at the time we went in. Mike seems to think that makes a big difference. It doesn't make a difference. It was still his house. He was around another building. Anyways, they discuss they get there. Okay, here we go. In the entry door, we went in, and off to the right there was a room with a desk. I recall it had a laptop on it. There were a lot of boxes and things, and a couple of camouflage, Jesus, okay, backpacks on thing. I did as we stepped in. I did ask Mrs. Parsons if this was Michael's office, and said yes, it was. It was Mike's office. And I pointed at the camouflage bags and asked her if those were his go bags, like, you know, if there was an apocalypse or something. She said, yes, those are Michael's go bags. So Mike's wife confirms that A, it is that is Mike's office. Mike denies that. And two, that those bags belonged to Mike. And we have a note from his wife saying, I did not say this. I did not use the term go bag. It's a bug-out bag. So Mike's wife is confirming that those bags really were there. They're not denying it. We did enter Mr. Parsons, what his wife identified as his office, began to look through the bags that she identified as his bags, and it was in those bags we found several hundred rounds of ammunition. A good portion of that .308 ammo that we found was used in the weapon, the rifle that was later found in his bedroom. There's a comment here saying, would it not be their bedroom? Doesn't make a difference. Anyway, we found, in fact, there were two. I think there were a couple of, I can't remember, there was 50 or 100 round type, drum type ammo magazines that would fit an AR type weapon. I think if you, those are the ones that look like those Tommy gun magazines. They look like a big cylinder, and you can shoot 100 rounds without reloading. Actually, and this is important for the later federal trial. The 50 and 100 round magazines are for an AR type weapon, but they don't find an AR type weapon. The AR-15 isn't found until a lot later when Mike takes it to Arapahoe, Nebraska on the plane. But the fact that Mike had the magazines at his house for the AR-15 means that, well, it makes you wonder where the AR-15 was while they were searching the house, probably with a friend or something. Anyways, there was a bayonet, just a lot of different things. There were many different calibers. I think there were 22.22 ammunition, 357 Magnum, 308, a lot of 308 magazines. We did find some parts of things. We never found an AR-type weapon, but we did find an AR-15 AR conversion kit to convert like 223 rounds to be able to fire 22S. That's somebody if they could practice and not spend a lot of ammo. Interestingly, on the plane, they also find a conversion kit to shoot 300 or something rounds instead of 223. So Mike had basically 3 barrels for that rifle. Anyways, the cop asked the wife if there were any weapons in the house. She says that there was a rifle in the bedroom. There's a comment here saying green. I don't know what green refers to. Maybe the bedroom is for, I don't know. We went down the hall. I shortly came back into the kitchen area. Green went down the hall with her and shortly came back into the kitchen area, carrying a box with a scoped AR rifle, 308 caliber. And this is the interesting thing. Mike's wife doesn't deny that they got the rifle. He says that it's not an AR rifle, and it's true. It's actually a different kind of rifle. That's a pointless. But anyways, the rifle was in the bedroom. Not as Mike says that it was a. I'll say that later. He did also ask her if there was any other weapon in there. She said there was a pistol, and when he went back in the bedroom, he did find a loaded 357 Magnum pistol in a shoebox that was within a couple of feet off the bedside. So, contrary to what Mike said, that the guns were his wife's, or that the guns were secured and that he didn't have access to the guns were in a shoebox next to his bed, or him and his wife's bed, and two, the other gun was in his office along with the ammunition. Specifically, as Warren points out, the Remington 700 .308 caliber rifle was in an unlocked closet. It was basically a walk-in closet. It says a closet with no door. The whole thing is 2 AR-15 beta magazines, tactical, the 22 conversion rate, blah blah blah. The 357 was a Smith & Wesson 6.86. I think that's it. But anyways, so basically, Mike is lying in two ways here. Mike is claiming that the guns were locked in a safe. That's not true. Mike is claiming that the guns were in his wife's house. But no, not true. It was his house, his bedroom, his office. And thirdly, him saying that he wasn't at the house is a lie. He was outside on the driveway. So the idea that he wasn't in possession is just bullshit.